Is looking for a second date with a guy named James. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I have to tell you first that I have been a forever listener, and I love you guys. I listen so much, I feel like you guys are pretty much like my besties at this point.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's very nice.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so that is why I'm coming to you about my love life, because I trust you guys.
You're brave.
Boy, that's pressure. All right, what can we do? But why don't we start from the beginning? Tell us how you met James and how that first date went. We'll go from there.
Okay, so we met at a Bengals pep rally, which, by the way, was absolute blast. It was really, really awesome just to have the whole city come together. It was just fantastic, a real good feeling,
Yeah, everybody I talked to that went to that thing said it was pretty awesome. And when they compared it to the one that happened in Los Angeles for the Rams, we did it up right, I'll tell you that.
Yes, we all did. So I was sitting next to James during the pep rally, and of course we start talking. We're both West Siders. We're both lifelong Bengals fans. We have a lot of common.
So far, yeah.
That's a good solid base for a relationship right there.
Totally. So I gave him my number, and actually he looks like pretty surprised, like he didn't expect me to do that, which is kind of cute. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he said he would call me in a few days, and he did. So we talked on the phone for like over an hour. It was ridiculous. I don't know that I've ever talked on the phone with a boy that long. But anyway, we decided that we were going to go for drinks, and then drinks turned into dinner. And then it ended up, I think it was like five something hours we spent together.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
That's how much fun we were having together. We really, it's like, standard story, great combo, lots in common. We're laughing a lot. And there was definitely chemistry. That's obviously, to me, very important.
Yeah.
Sure.
We didn't kiss, but he did give me a very good hug. He's a good hugger, and he didn't hug me like, when you hug someone, you just like pat him on the back, like, okay.
Yeah.
It was like a real snuggy, good. He gives good hugs.
Got right in there. It wasn't like an insincere kind of shoulder hug or a one-arm shoulder hug. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why bother?
It was like, I like you hug.
That's nice.
Good.
Yeah. And that is it. Never heard from him again.
That was that.
Yep.
Did you try calling him? I mean, you gave him your number, so I kind of predict that you would be aggressive and say, hey.
I did, and nothing. I haven't heard anything. And it's just confusing to me because it just seemed all right, It just seems like everything was perfect in, a first date. But so I'm just kind of like, well, what the hell did I do wrong?
Yeah. Did he say anything about you guys getting together again, or was he vague, or did it not even come up? Was there anything?
It didn't even come up. It just seemed like, I don't know.
A foregone conclusion.
Chemistry and, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know.
All right. Why don't we take a break here? We'll call him up. We'll get the story from James, if you don't mind hanging on.
I will hang on.
And Second Date Update will continue after the break with Jeff and Jenn, Cincinnati's Q102.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
When it comes to windows, doors, roofing, siding, and gutters, I'm a fan of Universal Windows Direct. And right now, you can get 15% off roofing, siding, and gutters. Check out uwdsouthwestohio.com or call 513-755-1800.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
All right, so Lisa met James at the Bengals pep rally. They just happened to be sitting right next to each other, and they got to talking. There was an attraction there, and she was feeling bold, decided to give him her phone number, and they talked on the phone for hours that very first time, so they knew there was chemistry. That led to drinks, which led to dinner, a 5-hour dinner, mind you. You don't spend 5 hours with someone if there's not chemistry. Oh, and you know what else she said about James?
What?
He's a great hugger.
A hugger.
It was a very nice hug at the end. No kiss, but a great, sincere, feel-good hug.
Yeah, hugs can be very healing. People need to be hugged. Isn't it like 12 times a day? You should get 12 hugs a day. Or was that how many times
that was
you
a friend
fart?
thing, 11 times a day.
11 times a day for hugs. Okay.
Yeah. Lisa doesn't know what's up because she was left with the impression that they would for sure be getting together again. But after reaching out. There's been nothing back from James. So unless there's any important detail that I left out that you want to include or something you forgot to add in there, now's the time.
I don't know. I think that's basically the gist of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm confused.
Okay.
Let's call James.
Hello?
Hello, is this James?
Yes, it is.
Ah, there he is. James is Jeff and Jenn at Q102. How are you this morning?
I'm okay.
Good. You got a few minutes?
Wait, the radio people?
Yes, the radio people.
The radio people, you think you know why you think you know why we might be calling?
Maybe?
We talked to Lisa, who you met at the pep rally and ended up having dinner with.
Oh, she called you. Okay.
Yeah, she sounds very nice.
Yeah, she seemed really nice. There was just this one really strange conversation that we had. And I don't know if she told you what she does for a living. But,
What does she do for a living?
Well, she's a nurse, and she works for a GI doctor.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, she went in on this whole big kick about colonoscopies and how important they are and how I really should get one. And then she just kept, I don't know, a lot of work talk about colonoscopies. It got uncomfortable. You know, like she even started to suggest, like, oh, we should go get them together. Like she called it like a couple's colonoscopy. Like it's a couple's massage or something, you know?
It's like a couple's massage. A couple's colonoscopy. I like that.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm actually getting my colonoscopy tomorrow, for real.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. But I'm doing it by myself.
You're just flying solo.
Yeah, Kristen's not coming with.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Well, she's missing out on all the fun, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Well, are you do you have a history or because you sound like a relatively young guy, don't they say you don't really need to start getting them until you're like in your 40s or 50s or something?
I don't have a family history or anything like that. No.
She just thought it'd be a fun thing for the two of you to do.
Yeah. And that, you know, you shouldn't wait until you're 50 to start. She's like, oh, the earlier you start, the better, because then they have some baseline or something. I don't know. She was very, very up on it. And I mean...
And sounds like very passionate about it.
But seriously, after a while, it's a lot of butt talk, you know, and I don't know. It's not a good visual on a first date. And I ended up feeling uncomfortable. And, yeah. That was what happened.
Okay, so it was a bit of a mood killer for you then. Is that right, James?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like I have a comfort level that kind of just got out of whack there.
I mean, considering the fact that this is her job, this is going to be difficult moving forward because I don't know how was your day at work? Don't talk about it. I don't want to hear it.
We saw this guy. He had 9 polyps. It was crazy.
Yeah. It was even goes beyond the job. It was almost like you went on a date with a Trekkie and they were so passionate about Star Trek and that's all they talked about, except for it was buttholes and poop.
Probably a Star Trek conversation would have been more appealing to you.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
That's funny. All right. Well, we have Lisa on the line. We'd like to get her side of the story, her take on this. Lisa, you still with us?
I am. James, I'm so sorry. You know what? It's what I do, and I'm very, very passionate about it, and I guess I just felt really comfortable with you. So I thought that I could talk to you about this stuff, but now that I'm hearing it out loud, I'm really embarrassed.
Why would you be embarrassed? This is your job.
It's what you do.
Yeah, why would you feel bad about that?
Well, obviously, it was a problem for James, and now that I think about it, maybe everyone doesn't really want to talk about anuses and such, on a first date.
Okay, maybe not on a first date, but still, I mean.
I don't know. Have you ever dated anybody that's like in the same field? So maybe, you could have these kinds of conversations and it not be uncomfortable.
Oh, the stories you could share.
I know, right. Or at least, just anybody in the medical field.
I can tell you that my brother, who he has colitis, so he gets colonoscopies a lot. Mm-hmm. They found potentially precancerous cells in his November or December colonoscopy. So they did a second, and they didn't find any.
And they were gone.
And they were like, well, what the heck? So they went to a specialist and did a third.
Yeah.
And they found flat polyps, which don't usually get seen, but they were looking for them, so they removed 8 of them.
Oh, wow.
And they have to go back and do it again in a couple months.
So he's having a lot of Miralax in his life.
And here's the thing that I was going to point out is like they're going to have him do the crazy prep for 2 full days.
Oh,
oh my
gosh.
God.
Before.
Wow.
So that could be a story you guys could share if you ran into someone that you know.
God love him.
So there is something to what you're
and
preaching.
he's young. How old is he?
He's 40,
Yeah?
41.
40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that makes a difference to you, James, but it kind of sounds like you're out. I, on the other hand, could talk to Lisa for hours because I'm getting mine tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just concerned about your gut health. Could you tone it back, Lisa, if you went out on a second date? Could you reel it in?
Yes, I definitely could because I would like to. I mean, if you're up for it, I would really like to see
You
you
seem
again.
to get along so well leading up. I mean, my goodness, a 5-hour dinner date and you talked all that time on the phone. I mean, is this going to kill it right here?
Yeah, over a little poop? Come on.
Well, as long as you promise not to call it date number 2.
That's funny. That's very funny right there what you did. I see what you did there.
See?
Clever.
All right, so then we do have a second date. This is nice.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Well, let's send them to a restaurant that serves a lot of food that's easily digestible.
There you go.
How about that?
Yeah.
In one of those salad restaurants.
Yeah, no red meat. Yeah. All right, well, we'll set it up. James, thank you very much for taking the call. And Lisa, I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Okay, great. I can't wait to take a look at your anus.
Yeah, so listen, if we can do a second date update for you, shoot us an email, Jeff and Jenn at WKRQ.com.